Aloha. I'm Joy Galatro, Marketing Director with Pacific Biodiesel.
My name is Francesco Greco, and I'm General Manager of the Maui Tropical Plantation.
I'm Bob King. I'm the President of Pacific Biodiesel and farming here on Maui. Pacific Biodiesel has been in the fuel business, making biodiesel out of recycled cooking oil here in Hawaii for over 20 years. And we collect all of the used cooking oil in the state of Hawaii and make it into fuel, as well as grease trap waste. But that's not enough for us, so we have to go into crops to get more oil to make biodiesel, and that's what brought us into farming.
All right, and what kind of crops are you farming to get that biofuel?
Right now on Maui we're farming sunflower, and in a little bit here we're going to start another crop of safflower in another month or so, and move into some other ones as the weather conditions and the soil look right for them.
What used to be sugarcane is now a type of crop that can be turned into a renewable fuel for Hawaii's clean energy future for cosmetic grade oil. I mean, look at this oil. It's the color of the sunflowers. And this already is being sold into Hawaii spas. It's an incredible oil for massage. Andaz was the first in the state. And we're going to be this year turning it into a food grade oil. The chefs are already telling us, hurry up, we want this. Biodiesel is a renewable fuel. It's 100% renewable. This is used cooking oil. So all of the used cooking oil in the state, for the most part, comes to us. We recycle this to make this premium biodiesel fuel. This is biodegradable. It's 100% renewable, can be used in any diesel engine. Generators, trucks, buses, school buses, cars, boats, all of our farm equipment runs on this fuel that we make on the Big Island, 5.5 million gallons a year.
Now you mentioned your car, you mentioned your farm equipment. Who else is using that product?
The biodiesel is, here on Maui Disposal, for example, is a commercial fleet that uses it. So the garbage trucks on Maui run on this incredible renewable fuel. So really any car, truck, commercial fleet vehicle, private fleets, any diesel engine, generators. So we're really helping to get the word out, and this again is why the sunflowers have been so amazing for us, to connect people to who we are as a local company. And they ask the question, what are you doing with the sunflowers and what is this fuel? And they're asking the questions that you're asking us. Any diesel engine? I can drive it in my car if it's a diesel engine? Yes.
So buses, cars, trucks, you mentioned your car. Did you do anything special to your car?
No modifications to use this. I fuel up at the pump in Kahului, and knowing that I'm using a renewable fuel made by our company here in the state and avoiding having to import petroleum fuel that's a fossil fuel that hurts the environment, I am making a choice as a consumer to drive on a fuel that supports local jobs. It's making the air cleaner, it's good for the environment, it's the right thing to do for Hawaii.
We're sitting on 2,000 acres of beautiful land here in front of the West Valley. We all, what we feel about the Maui Tropical Plantation starts from within. We love to work here. This is an unbelievable place. It's the heart of Waikapu town that used to be just a sugarcane town. And so we're in the heart of Waikapu. In fact, we're working to create a community that encompasses everything, including farming. We have a lot of farming here. We're proud to have, probably about 800 acres that are going to go in perpetuity to agriculture, and we love our farmers. Starting with Bob King and Kumu, that is right here, Kumu Farms. That's all their fields right here, and also our farmer Bobby Paia of Aloha Farms, and each one of them does different things. And so the Maui Tropical Plantation is just an unbelievable place. At the heart of the Maui Tropical Plantation, we also have the business side of it with restaurants like the Mill House and other places, and we're very proud of all that. So that's what we do here.
So we have a huge field down at the corner of Kuleana Highway and the Hanoa-Pialani Highway. That started blooming last year, and it kind of became a bit of an attraction, a bit of a phenomenon now known as the Maui sunflowers. You want to talk a little bit about that experience and how it led to this field being planted?
I think when we started planting down there, we just were grateful to have the opportunity to get on some land here on Maui. We'd been farming on the Big Island and on Oahu, but this is our first field on Maui, and we thought maybe a couple people would stop and take a look when they started flowering. We had no idea it was going to be tens of thousands of people would stop and look, and it actually became a concern because
Yes.
there were so many people stopping, and it was on a busy highway. And so what we did was we talked to Grant at Kumu Farms and Francesco, and we decided Grant would put a field in over here by the tropical plantation where there's a parking lot and restrooms and safe to have families come out, and people can come up close and enjoy the sunflowers here and then see our fields from the highway down there.
Right. And Francesco, you want to talk a little bit more about that, how that all came to be in
Yes.
detail, and kind of, the partner that Kumu Farms has been for you?
Absolutely. Well, let's, first of all, the way we started with Bob and Kelly was great because they were having a dinner a couple of years ago at our chef table area and one night, and I remember that we're talking about things and everything, and they were looking for a field to do sunflowers, and I thought it was a great idea. So, to be honest with you, we pursued that right away, and then it became reality. This is a beautiful entrance here. So, we're talking to Grant, the owner of Kumu Farms. He was, they've been with us for many, many years. They do unbelievable crops. And he was great. He cooperated with Bob King and Pacific Biodiesel to actually create this one on this parcel of his land. Here at Kumu Farms and Maui Tropical Plantation, that's where we want to attract people and come people here and have people coming here because they can easily walk through the fields, take pictures, and do other things that over there during with the farming operation would be very difficult. Although Bob is the first one to always say, "Hey, come," because of course he's like us. We want to. We're doing this also for the community, and obviously with all the great things that Joy said, it is all about the community and everything for even for an aesthetic point of view.
So the sunflower fields that are being planted here, these are 100 to 120 day crops from beginning to end. And so Grant at Kumu Farms and us, we try to time this so that fields here are blooming when fields out in the rest of the farm are blooming. But it's farming, so sometimes they will be, and sometimes they're not. But we're trying to make a rotation of flowers here, and if they're not blooming when somebody comes by, come back in a few weeks or a month, and chances are they'll be blooming again.
So the sunflowers have really become a symbol of hope for us. They've captured Maui's imagination. We've been on the cover of several magazines since the fields started blooming last year. Maui News cover at least 8 times, including last week. People are really excited about what these crops represent, and we're excited because that allows us to open the door and tell the story of who this company is.
We're just finishing our first year of farming, and we had some really nice successes and a few challenges. So we're learning every month that we're on the field, and really trying to find the path that gets us to a model where we can get into thousands or tens of thousands of acres. But we want to be careful and do it correctly. This year, we just started our 2018 season off, and we'll put a little over 150 acres of sunflower in the ground over the next few months here, as well as some safflower and chickpeas, which are another product that we can grow on these same fields with our same equipment. And it's also a nitrogen fixing plant, so it helps in a rotation, which is definitely part of the strategy, is to get to a point where the rotation of the plants supports the ground and supports the INA, so that we don't have to put any other inputs in. So we are in Hawaii, and we have met some really incredible people that are helping us to put this new model together, which is maybe an old model. Kimokeo has been teaching us about the Hawaiian moon calendar, and we are planting now according to the days that are good planting days according to the Hawaiian moon calendar, as well as learning the more about the culture that we are now part of. So it's been really interesting, and again, life is learning, and we're learning that side of it as well. So part of our farming practices here at MTP is that we are not using any pesticides or herbicides. We use a minimum amount of irrigation just during the dry summer months. The rest of the year we're going with rain. All of our equipment runs on 100% biodiesel, so we're really having a zero greenhouse gas effect while we are farming. We want to make this real and do it the right way, and that's how we'd like to farm, and MTP is very supportive of this, of course, too.
With tropical plantation, that's exactly the types of farmers that we really want. Farmers that are innovative, that create the sustainability for Maui and this wonderful land that we all live in. Because there has always been discussions on Maui. A lot of food is imported, for instance, from the mainland. They talk about 80 to 90% is imported. We want to change that. The Maui tropical plantation is the heart of these things, and we want to cooperate with people like. With companies like Pacific Biodiesel, Bob King, Kelly King, Joy, to change that kind of thing, to do innovative agriculture, so that we are sustainable in Maui. We also have, like, for instance, all our farmers like this. We have Bobby Paia from Oaloa Farms that does dry taro, and he's a big, another big supporter of that idea of being sustainable here. And so is Kumu Farms. Kumu Farms is doing great things, great crops. So this is our role here as a Maui tropical plantation. We want to help Maui through our farmers and through all these farmers here. And we want to incorporate even more later on, so that we can create we can really sustain Maui the way we want, and all the beautiful things that Joey said about before, what we're trying to achieve here. That's exactly what the Maui tropical plantation is all about.
Sugarcane experienced its last harvest. You acknowledged that earlier in the interview, and of course rumors and theories have been swirling around Maui ever since about what will happen to all this land. So where do you see your place in all of that, and where do you see Maui's future?
It's a great question, and it's an exciting time for Maui. It's really what we're able to do, what we are doing now, is sustainable agriculture. It's a model of agriculture and renewable energy. We're able to grow crop types that are not just a single crop, that have multiple uses for food and fuel and face and feed for livestock. It's a zero waste operation.
Go ahead.
Bob, where do you see your place in all of this, and where do you see Maui's future headed?
Well, I think Pacific Biodiesel, we've done pretty well over the years. We've kept 100 people employed here, but the world is a tough place right now, with climate change, with social issues. We really have to come back and say what's important to us as a people, as a community. And for me, it all starts with the land. So what we bring out of the land is for us, and it should be for us, and this is, it has to be real. So we're trying to do this in a real way, make real products that people want and need, and do it on this island in a real, in a sustainable way, but also in a real Pono way that reflects our values. And we'll make some mistakes along the way, but we're trying.
You mentioned that you supply 100 jobs. Do you see that growing as more people embrace biofuel and the products that are coming out of your fields?
Absolutely, this is going to create more jobs. Farming can be a big industry, and all those dollars we send off our islands to buy goods can be sequestered here in wages. With farming, it's all about work, it's wages. So let's find some good jobs that our next generation wants to do in the field, and bring them back home and bring the money back home.
Well, it really is part of our ag and energy model that we're doing. We want to farm crops like sunflower that can be used for food and fuel, and face as we're calling it. So we're creating a cosmetic grade version of the sunflower oil in addition to reef safe sunscreen that will be launching this summer. So we're looking at how we can, on our farm, really fulfill the needs of Hawaii spas. We've heard from many spa directors that they're thrilled to have a locally made natural product to bring into their spa. And one by request item that we're looking at growing, this is a loofah sponge. So this is an agricultural product that spas are very excited to be able to have this grown locally by us as part of the sunflower farming operation. And this is used for bath
Now you say
products.
grown. How did you grow that?
It's actually a plant, a vegetable on a vine. It dries on the vine and it peels off and this dries out and becomes a loofah sponge. People think, oh, sponge from the sea. No, sponge from the land. A couple years back, we actually began working with the mac nut processors on the Big Island. Some of their reject nuts, maybe smaller shaped, discolored by the shell, they said, will you guys come collect these? And we said, absolutely, we can turn it into biodiesel, but we started working with that oil, macadamia nut oil. It's an incredible oil for the skin, really high in omega-7 fatty acid. So we have created a whole beauty oil line, a skincare system made of locally grown ingredients, oils that are made by us, and we're actually blending these beauty oils. Beauty oils are a thing. Definitely trending in the cosmetic industry, and the whole concept of farm to face is huge. People really want to know that they're using a natural product that's sustainably made, and the spas love it because, again, it's a locally made beauty oil product that they can use in their spa treatments and then they sell to their guests. So our Kuleana line is actually a skincare system that's a cleanser for face, and then you follow it up with a beauty oil. This is actually a blend of macadamia nut oil, this as an example, macadamia nut oil, avocado oil, and green coffee oil. And that perks a lot of attention that green coffee oil for the face is very revitalizing and rejuvenating for skin. This has been our top seller, actually.
You know, companies like Pacific Biodiesel are creating a model for that and everything, but also they like if I may use the sentence, they really walk the talk. It's not just about the products in itself. There's a lot of money, a lot of efforts that this company is putting into this thing, into the seeds, into the sunflowers and everything, to create something that is different. So they actually believe in that. This is not a although, you know, we show the products and everything, and it's great that people will take a look at these products. It's not really about that. It's really about being a part of a bigger picture where all the farmers here contribute to make Maui really sustainable, and we're in the middle of this. That's how I see the future. I believe in the future. I believe that if we all together with a good considered effort from the government as well, agriculture is the way to go with innovative technologies and everything, where we can have Maui as the place where we can be really we can sustain ourselves, because it would be a pity if that doesn't happen. So please come here and enjoy us at the Maui Tropical Plantation with Bob King, Pacific Biodiesel, Joy, Como Farms, and Bobby Paia from O'Aloha Farms. And this is a nice place to be. So thank you very much.
Aloha. My name is Amanda Hall, and I'm the Director of Communications for the Maui Tropical Plantation. We're here in a sunflower field in front of Kumu Farms at the Maui Tropical Plantation. You're welcome to come here, park in our parking lot, complimentary, visit these beautiful blooms, grab a cup of coffee, grab some lunch at the Millhouse Restaurant. If you're curious about when the blooms will be in season, you can always check our Facebook page, Maui Tropical Plantation, or follow us on Instagram.